Hello, this is Julie. Here I'd like to show you how to start with a simple tilde character from a font in order to make a beautiful set of nested labels or frames like this. So to get started, I just looked for a tilde shape in one of my fonts. I found one in Samantha Upright Pro that I liked in Make the Cut. So I clicked off on all glyphs just to be able to see the main characters. Now you don't have to have Samantha font to do this. You can look through your fonts and look just past the last of the lowercase letters and you'll see some of the bracket and the tilde here. And you can look through them by clicking on the font and using your down arrow, and you can actually scroll through these using a down arrow, and then you can look at the different tildes that are available, and when you find one that you like you can just double click on it. I kind of like the one that was in the Samantha Upright Pro, so I just double click and add it right here to my screen. Now it comes in automatically at the size of your caret, which I have set to 1 inch, so this is a pretty big tilde, but you can resize it to be whatever you like. You can also leave it the way it comes in, or if you click on these characters you can see the arrows change on it. These are the selection arrows for resizing. If you click on it you get the rotation arrows, which allows you to rotate the shape, and if you click it again you get a distortion tool. Now you can use any of these to reshape that tilde in any way you like. I think I like mine to have this is going to be the peak of my label, and I like to have my peak just maybe a little higher than the highest curve. But you can do yours whichever way you like, and you can do it in any size that you like. When I played around with this, I decided, well, I think I'll just leave it like this for right now and get some basic shapes to help me line up my tildes in a nice organized way. So to do that I'm going to go to basic shapes. At the top of the screen it has a triangle, circle, and a square icon, 6 icon from the right. Double click and I type in SQ to get a square, and I'm going to need a circle too, so I'm going to type in CI and just double click on the circle. So these are the shapes that I'm going to use to create this design. Isn't it amazing? From these to this, and it's very simple. I'm going to change the circle to 1 1/4 inch, 1.25, and enter with the gold lock icon. Then I'm going to change this square to a rectangle, and to do that I'll click on the gold lock icon to make it green, and I'm going to make this one 7.5 inches wide, and tab over to the height of 4.5 inches and enter. So this is going to be the main size of my box here. I'm going to build my label around this. I'm also going to change my virtual map from contrast to green so that I can see through these shapes to help me align them. And what I'm going to do here is work on this little hump right here. The tilde is going to make the top curve and the side curves, but I'm going to use this circle to make this little hump in the corner. Now you can make your design however you like to do it, and that's what makes this so much fun to do. I'm just going to place the circle, the little crosshairs at the center of the circle and place them right on the corner of my rectangle. Now I need 4 of these, so I could duplicate them, but I'm just going to hold down the Control and Shift and click, and that gives me another, and I'll just drag it over here to the other corner. Control Shift click gives me another, and I'll drag it to the other corner so the crosshairs line up right with the corner of that rectangle. Hold down Control Shift click and drag that other circle right over to the other corner. So these are going to be my little humps. Now what I want to do is figure out, well, how big does this need to be? Well, in playing around with it, I decided it would be about 3 3/4 inches wide, or 3.75 with the lock icon on. So 3.75, and press enter. And now I need another one of these, so again I'm going to hold Control Shift and just click on it. Now I'm going to flip it by clicking on the second icon from the left on the bottom. It's mirror. Could also use Control plus M, and I'm holding the Control key and hitting my right arrow key to move that over. I'm going to zoom in a little by pressing 4 and 3 to zoom in on my selection, because right up here I would like this piece to line up perfectly over this piece. So I'm going to tap my right arrow until I get them lined up just the way I want them. Now I'm going to zoom out to 100 by typing 1 and 3. That centers in on my selection. Now I'm going to grab this whole thing, and what I'd like to do is see if I can get it to fit perfectly between the centers of those circles. It needs to be a little bigger, so I'm going to just drag up on this arrow, corner selection arrow, until I see these line up exactly at the centers of the circles. Now I'm going to hold my Control key and tap a couple times to move this up, and I'm going to let go of the Control key to move it a little more slowly until the tails of the tildes are just barely overlapping the circles. Now you can do this any way you like according to your taste and the shape that you would like your final label to be. But I've still got these 2 selected, and while they're selected I'm going to hold Control and Shift and click to make another, and I'm going to do this flip, third icon from the left on the bottom, hold Control and my arrow. So I'm going to arrow down, and I'm going to get this so that again the tips of my tildes just barely overlap the circles so that I'll be able to weld them. Now I still have these selected. I'm going to again click Control Shift and click. This time I'm going to click on the 4th icon from the left on the bottom and rotate the tildes 90 degrees. Now since this design is much narrower than it is wide, I'm going to need to resize this. So I'm resizing it again so that, and I'm using the corners to keep the aspect ratio the same, and I'm going to zoom in, typing 4 and 3 again, well maybe 1 and 3, and I'd like to again size this between the plus, the center pluses of the circle. And once I have them sized right, I'm going to click on my left arrow and move it out again until just the tips are overlapping. And once I have that, I'm going to hold Control Shift, click again, and mirror, second icon from the left on the bottom, hold the Control, and arrow over to the right until the tips of my tildes are just over the circles again. So now I have all the pieces of my design ready to go. Now this is what I made earlier just so I can remember what I did. When I have it at this point, I could just weld it and be done, but in case I would like to make some modifications on this, what I do is select the whole thing, hold Control and Shift, and just drag a copy off. And now what I'm going to do is weld this piece. And I keep this in just in case I want to change something. But I'm going to click on the weld, which is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, the 9th icon from the right on the bottom, or Control plus W. It welds all together, and to fill in all the empty space I click on this black square at the bottom, which is blackout, and it fills it in. And now I have a really nice label. All I have left to do is make it a nested label. To do that, I think I'm going to go ahead and go back to my contrast mat. I'm going to select that label, go to Edit, Duplicate, Nested Duplicate, and you can do as many as you want. I entered the count of 8, and I wanted them to be about a ½ inch apart, so I put in a minus 0.5 because I want the duplicates to be inside of this shape. This is my largest shape, and I want to make the duplicates each one a little smaller than the other, so I'm using duplicate by scaling. And you can adjust the color by clicking on the color here to start with, and then you can click on this one to select an ending color, and then you click on preview to see what you've got. Oh, look at that, nice and easy. So I clicked on accept, and there you have it. I went from a tilde to 8 nested labels all ready to use. I'd love to see what you do with yours, what variations you come up with, angles and sizes and colors, and these are a lot of fun. I look forward to your creations. Bye for now.